Pay attention. This is not a suggestion, it's a warning. You are wasting time on things that don't matter. You know exactly what I'm talking about, but you keep ignoring it. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of convenience. It doesn't matter. What matters is that if you don't do something now, you'll look back and realize the moment has passed, and then it will be too late. I'm not here to please you. I'm here to remind you that you have choices, but they won't wait for you. Every day you delay is a day that won't come back. There's nothing more expensive than lost time. So tell me, are you going to keep sitting, waiting for something to change on its own? Or are you finally going to do what needs to be done? Enough with the excuses. Enough with thinking you have all the time in the world. You don't. None of us do. What you want, what you dream, won't fall from the sky. And do you know why? Because the universe doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who act. And right now, what are you doing? Thinking, reflecting, trying to convince yourself that it's not the right time. Here is the truth you need to hear, even if it hurts. The right time will never come, never. And do you know what else? If you continue in this inertia, thinking that everything is fine, time will keep passing, and you will remain exactly where you are, in the same place, with the same complaints, the same regrets. And then, what will you do when you realize that time is up? You know what I'm talking about. That project you promised to start. That step you know you need to take, but keep postponing. The changes your heart has already screamed are necessary, but you insist on silencing. You think you're protecting yourself, but in reality, you're sabotaging yourself. You're pushing your life into a dark corner where nothing grows, where everything is lost. And you feel it. Deep down, you feel it. Stop now and look at your life. Truly look. Not with the eyes of someone who wants to justify themselves, but with the eyes of someone who wants to see. See the areas where you are stagnant. See the choices you have been avoiding. Face the consequences of this. The time you've lost is already lost. You can't go back. But from this exact moment, you can decide not to lose anymore. I know you've heard this before. Words about change, act, believe. But what I'm saying here is not a cliché. It's not a motivational phrase to make you feel good for 5 minutes. It's a call for you to take on the responsibility that only you can take on, living your life. Because no one is going to do that for you. What are you waiting for? A sign? Here it is. This is your sign. It's right in front of you. You know you can't keep dragging things out. You know the time you think you have is not guaranteed. So, what is missing? Courage? Determination? Fear of failing? If it's fear, listen to this. Failing is part of it. It's the price of trying. But do you know what hurts more than failing? It's never trying. Never knowing what could have been. Never tasting success because you preferred the comfort of the familiar over the uncertainty of the new. Do you think you're safe where you are? You are not. Nothing is safe. The job you hate, the relationship that drains you, the habits that imprison you, none of these are safe. It's just a sandcastle you insist on keeping because you think it's all you have. But do you know what is truly safe? It's your ability to act. Your ability to decide to change, even if it's hard, even if it's uncertain. Because true security is not in what you have. It's in what you do. Now look ahead. What do you see? Is this what you want for your life? If so, great. But if not, then there is no more time to waste. There's no point in making grand plans for the future if you can't take a step today. Today is all you have, not tomorrow, not later. Today. And what you do with it depends solely on you. I know it's hard. I know it feels like there's a mountain in front of you and that each step seems too small to make a difference. But here's something you need to understand. It's not about the size of the step. It's about taking the next step. Just that. Because every step, no matter how small it seems, is progress. And every bit of progress brings you closer to what you desire. But for that you need to start. And you need to start now. If you think it's too early, you're mistaken. If you think it's too late, you're also mistaken. The only right moment to act is now. All you have is now. So use it. It doesn't matter if it's hard, if it's scary, if it seems impossible. Nothing is more impossible than changing without doing anything. You need to be honest with yourself. Look inside and ask, what do I really want? What's the cost of staying where I am? And what's the cost of taking the first step? The answer is there inside you. You don't need anyone to tell you, you already know. You're just waiting for permission that no one can give you but yourself. So, tell me, what are you going to do now? Will you close your eyes to this message and go back to the routine that consumes you? Or will you look at your life and decide once and for all that it is yours? That you have the power to change? That you have the right to want more? It's not about what others expect from you. It's about what you expect from yourself. You've wasted too much time already. You've waited too long, and you know it. So stop deceiving yourself, stop delaying, stop living in the later. Life is happening now, and it's calling you. Either you answer or you let it pass by. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. You are hearing this because something inside you knows that it can't go on as it is. It's like a rope being stretched beyond its limit, and you feel that it could snap at any moment. Maybe you are tired. Tired of empty promises, of trying and getting nowhere, of feeling like you're living the same story repeatedly, without a different ending. I understand that, but here's the point. Either you do something about it, or no one will do it for you. If you are waiting for someone to rescue you, stop. No one will come with a ready-made solution to your problems. The world doesn't work that way. It's harsh, but it's real. And if you don't face reality now, it will run you over later. There is no easy way out. There never was. And if you think this is an exaggeration, look around you. How many people do you know who are living what they really wanted? Few, right? And do you know why? Because they gave up before trying for real. Because they settled. Do you want to be another one of these people? I know you don't. I know because you are still here listening to this. Some part of you believes it can be different. And it's that part that needs you now. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Now. Every decision you delay is an extra weight you carry, and the longer you take to act, the heavier it gets. Until the point where you may not be able to get up anymore. Don't let that happen. You might be thinking, but I've tried before and it didn't work. That's okay. You tried. And maybe you failed. But does that mean you should stop? No. Failing is part of the process. Those who never failed never tried anything worthwhile. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is simple. Those who succeed try again. They learn, adjust their path, but they don't stop. And you? Are you going to stop because you failed once, twice, or even 10 times? If so, then maybe the problem isn't the world, but the way you see things. Looking at your life, tell me, what have you been doing to get out of this cycle? Because if the answer is not much, you know what needs to change. Waiting is not a strategy. Repeating the same mistakes is not progress. And feeling bad for not being where you wanted to be doesn't solve anything. The only thing that solves it is action. Simple as that. And taking action is not about making big changes all at once. It's about starting, even if small. It's about taking a step, any step, in the right direction. Because standing still will never get you anywhere. I know that fear is paralyzing. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged. Fear of discovering that maybe you aren't capable. But I'll tell you something, fear never goes away. It will always be there trying to stop you. But you can't let it decide for you. Because in the end, what hurts more? The fear of trying or the regret of never having tried? And don't think this is about big dreams or unattainable goals. It's not. It's about you. About who you want to be. About what really matters to you. Maybe it's a relationship that needs fixing. Maybe it's the courage to leave an environment that harms you. Maybe it's the desire to create something you've always wanted, but never had the courage to do. Whatever it is, it's in your hands. It always has been. The world outside is noisy. There are people constantly telling you what you should or shouldn't do, but the only voice that matters is your own. The question is, are you listening? Are you paying attention to what you really want? Or are you letting the noise distract you, the fears dominate you, and the complacency consume you? Be honest with yourself, because no one else can be. Now, here is what you need to understand. You don't need to have all the answers to start. No one does. You just need to take the first step, just that, because the first step is the hardest. It is what breaks the cycle. It is what pulls you out of inertia. And once you start moving, everything changes. Not at once, but little by little. Each day you take action is one day less of regret, one day less of weight on your shoulders, one more day towards the life you really want to live. And before you start thinking of all the reasons why you can't start now, I'm going to interrupt you. Those reasons, all of them, are just excuses. You might even think they're valid, but they aren't. Because deep down, you know there's always a way. There is always something that can be done, no matter how small it seems. You just need to decide. It's not easy, but it is simple. So what will it be? Will you stay where you are, watching time pass by, feeling like you could be more but never allowing yourself to be? Or will you stand up now and do what needs to be done? I'm not talking about miraculous change. I'm talking about a commitment to yourself, not to accept less than you know you deserve. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. Stop thinking you're not capable because that's a lie you told yourself to protect yourself. You are capable. You always have been. You just need to believe in it enough to act. And if you're waiting for me to say something more to convince you, here it is. There's nothing more to say. What you do from here on depends entirely on you. The question is, are you ready to answer? It's time to be honest with yourself and decide. It's time to stop avoiding the questions that really matter. Who are you now? And who do you want to be? If the answer to these questions doesn't satisfy you, then you know something needs to change. And that change doesn't start tomorrow, it doesn't start later, it starts now. Because time waits for no one, it keeps going. And every day you let pass without taking action is a day that never comes back. Think of all the times you wanted something and put it off, all the promises you made to yourself and didn't keep. How many of those are still weighing on your shoulders? How many of those still haunt your mind when you lay your head on the pillow at night? This is not something that disappears on its own. It only disappears when you decide to face it, when you decide to do what is necessary. And doing what's necessary takes courage, it takes honesty, but above all, it takes decision. And now I want you to think about what might happen if you do nothing. If you stay exactly where you are, time will pass, a month, a year, maybe 5 years. And there you will be looking back, wondering how it would have been different if you had started today. Do you want to carry that regret? Or would you rather look back and feel proud? Proud of having taken control of your life. Proud of not letting fear or doubt decide for you. This is where you make a choice. This is where you decide if you will continue living a life of excuses or if you will live a life of action, no matter how small the step you can take right now. What matters is that you take it. What matters is that you start. Because starting is the only way to get somewhere. You don't need guarantees, you don't need certainties, you need courage. And courage, my friend, is already inside you, waiting to be used. If you have made it this far, if you are still with me, it means that something inside you has already decided that it's time to change. Don't ignore that. Don't let this feeling pass. Grab it firmly and turn it into action. Because every second you spend waiting is a second lost. And I don't want you to lose anything more. Now I want you to do something. Something simple, but that can change everything. Subscribe to this channel because this is the space where we talk about truths that we often avoid, where you will find more content that makes you think, that challenges you to be more, to do more. And more than that, leave a comment below. Tell me, what are you going to do today to get out of your comfort zone? What is the first step you are willing to take? Because writing it down is not just a gesture. It is a commitment. It is the first step towards change. And if this message resonated with you, if it touched something inside you, leave your like. It's not just about supporting this content. It's about telling yourself that you are ready, that you are committed, that you won't let this pass without acting. And by doing so, you also help other people find this message. Because you know there are many people out there who need to hear exactly this. This is the moment. Not tomorrow, not later, it is now. And you have everything you need to start. The only thing missing is for you to say yes, so tell me, are you ready? Life is waiting for your answer.